Welcome to Stockology, getting started with the stock market beginner series. In this chapter, we are going to learn about two important candlesticks pattern which are hammer and inverted hammer and the psychology behind it. In the last chapter, we have studied two solid candles which are bullish and bearish. Inverted hammer and hammer are supposed to be the neutral candle. Now, why they are called neutral candle? Let us see. Firstly, this is hammer. As the name suggests, hammer has a small body with a long stick. Similarly, on the chart, you will notice there are some candles where the body is very small, irrespective of the color. The body can be of the green side, green color or the red color. The most important thing of the hammer is the lower wick is very big. So, in short, the hammer looks like this: a small body which is placed at the upper end with the longer lower wick. Okay, so this resembles hammer, and that is why the name is. Now, what is the psychology behind it? Now, as we all know the formation of the candle, and we know that each candle has four components: open, high, low, and close. Now, while when the hammer was getting formed, while in this case, when price opening was at this price, okay, throughout this phase or throughout this time frame, price even dropped till this point. So there was some transaction which happened at this point. There were buyers and sellers present at this time. Eventually, buyers could manage to take the price up and could manage to close above the open. So, if you listen to this story carefully, you will notice at the initial phase of this candle formation, sellers were active, but at the closing, bulls took over. They become aggressive and managed to take price and close the price above the open. So, in short, hammer represents the bullish overpowering or bullish pattern. So, the hammer is considered to be of bullish sentiment. Now, in this red color body hammer as well, the sentiment is same. Point to note here is that though the initial seller's action was prevalent, still at the closing, bulls were over aggressive and took the price at the higher level. So, this long lower week suggests the bullish dominant, and hence the hammer is considered to be bullish. Coming to the inverted hammer, which is exactly opposite of that of hammer. You will notice in the inverted hammer, the body is very small and placed at the lower side, and the upper week is longer. By the rule, the upper week has to be double or more size of that of body. Even here, the color of the body doesn't matter. It can be green as well as red. Coming to the story of inverted hammer, price is opening over here. Okay. In the initial phase of this candle formation, you will see price reaching to this high as well. So there were buyers and sellers aggressive at this point as well. But while the closing, sellers were overpowered, and then they managed to take price down and close at the lower side. In this case as well, though the price opened over here, the initially buyers took the price at the higher end, but sellers took over and they become overpowering and they took the price down. So the closing was dominated by the sellers, and this long upper wick is representing the selling pressure, and thus the sentiment behind the inverted hammer is supposed to be bearish as it represents the selling pressure. Let me repeat once again: the hammer in which the lower wick is longer, it represents the buying pressure, and in the inverted hammer, Where the upper wick is long, it represents the selling pressure. Now let us see this on the chart. So right in front of me, I have this Kotak Mahindra Bank chart of monthly time frame. M stands for monthly. Now let us find out. So here you have this candle which is of green colored body with a smaller lower wick and very long upper wick. So this is called as inverted hammer. The candle which looks like the hammer which is inverted. Here you will notice the body is at the lower side with the smaller wick and the longer upper wick is representing the selling pressure. Here you will notice there are these two hammers present. So hammer is exactly opposite of the inverted hammer. Hammer will have the body at the upper end and it will have the longer lower wick which represents the buying pressure. In short, the hammer, especially if it is seen at the bottom of any trend, then it represents now bulls are getting active. Similarly, inverted hammer, if it is seen at the top of any uptrend, it represents now the sellers are coming into action. So the location of this hammer and inverted hammer is also very important. Let me repeat, at the bottom of any downtrend. So Kotak Mahindra Bank was dropping for these months, and when the prices were at the lower end, when you see this hammer, that means there is some smart money which is buying at this lower area. So these big players in the market, they start to accumulate Kotak Mahindra Bank, and then it will be represented in the form of this longer lower wick. So hammer represents the buying pressure, and so the stock now is advancing. Similarly, inverted hammer when seen at the top. So when the prices were rising at the top, when you see this inverted hammer, that means now the smart money is selling their stocks. So this selling is evident with the help of this longer upper wick, and thus the prices started to decline further. So the location of the hammer is very important. But let me tell you, simply by looking at the hammer and inverted hammer, do not take any buy or sell decision. There are certain rules to follow that we will cover in the upcoming chapter. So that is all about hammer and inverted hammer. Let me know in the comment section how do you find this, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. Now there is one question you have to answer me in the comment section. What is the longer lower wick in the hammer represent? Let me repeat the question. What is the longer lower wick in the hammer represent? Type your answers in the comment. We'll see you in the next chapter. Thank you.